Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. Episode 1 of Courage and Convictions. Welcome to my podcast. I'm your host, George Haddad, and today is the official launch and the pilot episode of Courage and Convictions. This is my baby. The week you're seeing this is probably going to be Monday, December 22nd, 2025. The week of Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Hope you guys having a blessed holiday season, a blessed new year, and may all your dreams and wishes come true this holiday season, and may you accomplish every single goal you set for yourself, whether it be a New Year's resolution, it may be long-term goals that you just look to accomplish in 2026. I'm very excited for this journey that we're about to embark on together, and I say together because the podcast isn't just about me. Sure, I am your host, but without you, the viewer, I would have nothing to host to. And yeah, I'm just very, very excited to launch this podcast. It's been my secret little baby, my child, if you would, that I'm finally ready to share with the world. I am super, super stoked to have these conversations and have the guests on that I have planned. There's a lot of really great guests that are coming in the future to have really deep, meaningful, insightful conversations. And I'm excited for you, the listener, to join the journey. Come on for the ride, you know? But yeah, welcome to Courage and Convictions. Let's get right in. Okay. Woo. I'm like nervous but excited. That being said, how about I introduce you guys officially to the podcast? So what is this podcast essentially? This podcast reflects essentially this. In a world where truth bends to comfort, right? Conviction often feels costly. Courage and Convictions dives into the strength it takes to stand firm in who you are and what you believe. This podcast explores the intersection of faith, growth, and authenticity. Not through sermons, but through honest, thought-provoking questions. And that's something I really love to do, is to ask deep questions, to really think things through, to feel the emotion that comes along, whether it be happiness, sadness, anger, grief, whatever it may be. Emotions are our body and our brain signaling to us not just what we're feeling, but things that are based on our environment. And I believe that through these honest, thought-provoking conversations and these questions that I plan on asking and exploring, I believe that a lot of people, including myself, will be able to reflect and really understand ourselves, understand our purposes in this world, and really understand what uncomfortable situations, what they can cause, essentially. I believe that uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable topics often yield growth as a result. And I'm excited because each episode is a journey into discipline, into resilience, purpose, spiritual depth that anchors us when life gets loud. It's a way for us to quiet the noise and really dive deep into ourselves and into life. And whether that's intertwining spirituality, intertwining faith, intertwining life lessons that we may have learned, how to face mental illnesses and trauma, and just really understanding who people are, what they believe, and how they're able to stand firm in their beliefs. Courage and Convictions isn't about perfection, as you can tell. I've probably started a million times already. I'm a little nervous, but excited at the same time. This podcast, Courage and Convictions, is about walking the narrow path with integrity, reflection, and unshakable grace. We often don't give ourselves enough grace, and hopefully, I know I need to learn this myself, can learn to be more graceful to ourselves and understand that we're never going to be perfect. We're only human, and that the world is such an amazing place with us in it. And it's time for us to be our true selves. Next, I want to dive into what made me start this podcast. And this is something that has been on my mind for a while, actually. WWE superstar John Cena just retired. So sad. What an amazing career. My childhood coming to an end. But yeah, John Cena once said that when the sun goes down, I look at what I did for the day. Even if it's relaxed, did I earn the sunset? Some days I don't, and I motivate myself to try to do it again, but most days I do, and that's my sense of purpose. See, this quote impacted me greatly. It made me sit and think about my purpose in life, and after pondering for some time, it opened my eyes and made me realize that I wasn't earning my sunset as often as I'd like. I believe that each day God gives us on this earth, or he grants us, we have the opportunity to earn that sunset. And this podcast aligns with the journey to earning my sunset daily. It aligns with my pursuit. It's sharing thought-provoking questions and insightful conversations with the world in hopes of touching hearts, but also helping you, the viewer, answer these questions about your life. Really take a deep dive and really understand who you are as a person, because I believe the foundation to happiness and love for oneself is to really understand who you are, understand your imperfections is what makes you perfect, essentially, and to learn about what you believe. The second you learn about yourself and you really do a deep dive on yourself, I believe that's one where you grow, as I've said a couple times already, but two, it's where you start to no longer be the outcast in your life necessarily, but to shine bright like you were intended to do. See, this podcast is to understand what beliefs and ideas people are convicted in. To understand if these beliefs were adopted on your own or were they adopted from friends and family. It's to understand where the courage behind the convictions comes from. Because when life gets hard and adversity is often in your face, how can one stand 10 toes in their beliefs? And how can one really pursue making their beliefs known, not in a disrespectful way, but understanding that each person is different, each person thinks a certain way, and sometimes you have to stand strong for what you believe in, even if it comes into the face of adversity. And that's something I aspire to be better at. I aspire to learn more about people. And one of the main things of what this podcast is for me is it's a vessel to learn. I really like learning what other people's life stories are, why they are the way they are, and understand that we often find commonality between each other. Even two strangers can come together and find common ground. It's just how bad do we want to find that common ground? I'm really excited for this. I'm so looking forward to it. We have some really cool guests coming on from different aspects of the world too, whether it be priests, young adults, older adults, everyone in between, religious figures, non-religious figures, businessmen, people to just talk about their experiences in life, psychologists, therapists, and really, honestly, it can be anybody. Any guest is really interesting as long as they're willing to be open and vulnerable. That's what I believe. Everyone has a story. Everyone has something that makes them who they are. Sure, some might not be as deep as others, but everyone has a story, and everyone's story deserves to be told. I was going to delay this till probably the beginning of the next year, 2026, obviously. But I asked myself, why now? And this was the answer that I really came up with. One of the hardest things to do in life is to start, because we as humans often overthink things and try to make things perfect, which is essentially impossible. We often overthink, judge ourselves, self-doubt, get in our own way. And I believe the journey always starts somewhere. Unfortunately, us as humans, we often look at the bigger picture rather than the small wins that come along the journey. And the best time to start anything in life is now. Even if it's not the best in the beginning, as you can see right here in front of you, it's not bad, but it's not perfect, right? I've stuttered, I made mistakes, all that stuff. It's learning. We're all learning along the process. Even Joe Rogan, who has the biggest podcast in the world, if you look at episode 1 compared to episode 1,000 or whatever number he's at, he's in the thousands already. Over the course of his 12 to 15 year career as a podcaster, you'll see the evolution of what it was to what it became. And that's beautiful. It's like the journey is what people remember. It's what you're going to remember. Sure, others may see an overnight success, quote unquote, but you're going to know what it took deep down to not only dive into yourself, but to really put that blood, sweat, and tear into what you believe in. And whether it's podcasting, starting a new career, going to the gym, whatever it may be, now is the best time to start. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. Believe in yourself, know that you can accomplish anything. And then finally, to transition, I also want to dive deep into who I am. Sure, you guys may know me as George. Some of the early followers that are watching this are probably going to know me from a surface level, but I want to kind of dive deep into who I am and what my beliefs are. And yeah, essentially anchor the podcast in that way to not only connect with you guys, but hopefully find some common ground with you, the viewer, that we may be able to connect with in the future and maybe right now. So like I said earlier, my name is George Haddad. I am 28 years old. I am a first-generation Arab American. I was born in America, but I have strong Middle Eastern roots. I'm deeply influenced by the Lebanese culture, whether it be the food, music, hospitality, the love of life that they have. If anybody has been to Lebanon or knows Lebanese people, they have a certain love for life, even when things get rough. They just always try to be as positive as possible, even when life doesn't really give them an opportunity to, or a reason to, I should say. And also I want to add that the Lebanese people are known to stand strong in the face of adversity. As you may have seen in the news over the last couple of years, Lebanon has faced a lot of corruption, a lot of unfortunate events that have happened. But through those unfortunate events, through those adversities, through those challenges, each Lebanese person I know woke up so steadfast in belief that things will get better. They woke up happy. They were able to smile through the pain and believe that life has a bigger purpose than this. And that's what I love. And I hope and aspire to learn to be that faithful, that the future is that bright. Because oftentimes I get discouraged on certain things. But that's okay. It's part of the journey. It's part of the growth. I am also a Christian man of faith. I believe that each day God grants us is an opportunity to accomplish the mission we were created for. Each person, I believe, is born with an innate talent, and that distinguishes them from another. Though we are all coherently different, our sole commonality lies in our identities being forged in the image of God, and through Him all things are possible. See, being a man of faith, I yearn for deep conversations about life and growth. I believe in civil discourse and healthy conversations. I know no two people can ever see eye to eye 100% of the time. So my thing is, how can we find common ground? Unfortunately, we live in a society that vilifies one another based on things we don't agree on, issues we don't agree on. And instead of trying to understand each other's perspective with empathy and grace, we often shoot people down and make them feel less than. One thing in life that doesn't change is the truth. It's the same today as it was yesterday and as it will be tomorrow. It is our job as humans, as people of earth, to be kind and to uncover the uncomfortable truths that yield growth. Uncomfortable truths yield questions that cause us to think, to help us shape new perspectives. And when we share those perspectives, it allows us to understand not only ourselves, but others as well. And together we can get back to the point where we can disagree and still love one another. In life, things are never going to go the way we imagine them to. There's a lot of things in my life that have happened both recently and in the past that were not on my bingo card for 2025 or not on my bingo card for 28 years old, whatever it may be. But every journey is unpredictable. Every journey is essentially not up to us. At the end of the day, God's plan is always going to be better than us. As long as we have faith, we be kind, we share love and empathy with each other, anything is possible. I am really excited for what's to come, guys. This podcast has really shaped a different perspective for me. I'm excited to share the journey with you guys, share the conversations, and hopefully you guys get to know a little bit more about me later on in life. With more episodes, more conversations, we'll uncover truths that really make us think together. This is Courage and Convictions. Again, my name is George Haddad. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Again, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll see you next week with a new episode. Peace.